Hey, what's good people? I'm Justin Miller, owner of Legends of Athletics. I have 9 years of sports performance industry experience and training under my belt. Been in the industry for the last 9 years. I've seen a ton of different things from great athletes to poor athletes to legendary performances to average performances to things that work in training to things that don't work in training. We want to talk about coaching vultures or coach vultures. This is something that in the last 9 years in the industry, I've seen it change over time. And I feel like maybe part of me may be like it's getting worse because I'm getting older, or part of me may be saying it because I just see things from a different lens these days. When I first got into coaching, it was all about hard work. You had to search out and sift out a lot of this information that's readily available today, as far as like training protocols, training programs, things like that. And I'm in an industry, honestly, like sports performance is an industry, honestly, where anybody and everybody that ever plays sports believes that they can do it and they can train at a high level, and without seeing the intricacies and the details within training. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, right? So in sports, I see this, and you heard stories about it, like on ESPN 30 for 30 with exploit stuff, ESPN's 60, E60, I'm sorry, and a few other outlets and channels would exploit stories where people would kind of exploit athletes, as far as like financially, as far as like academically, or within their mental capacity and things like that. And I see it more today. Not to bore you with coaching vultures. That's the word I came up with. I call these people coach vultures. It's a personal term to me. I haven't seen the term anywhere else, so we'll see. I may have discovered a new term, may have made something up, but I call them coach vultures. What and the first thing I will say is, what is a vulture? So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes for this video. But what is a vulture? We'll go with Webster's dictionary. The second thing they have: a contemptible person who prays or exploits others. What does this look like in athletics? It looks like promises, scholarships, playing time, exposure, etc. These are things I see happening more and more today, with more accessibility to AAU, travel baseball, 7-on-7 teams. This is happening more and more today than it ever has previously. Coaches are lying and telling players that they have connections to colleges and coaches that they do not. They are telling players that they can get them looks that they cannot. They're telling players they can get them a scholarship that they cannot, playing time that they can, but a team that is not that great. And so that is what a coach vulture looks like. They prey on your pain. What is your pain? As an athlete, you do want to be seen. As an athlete, you want to get the most eyes on you as possible. As an athlete, you want to be in the best position to get from step one to step two as you possibly can be. And so with these people that vulture, you can see, like, even on social media, Twitter, TikTok, things like that, where they will promote, hey kids, send me your video. I will blast your video on my page that has 100,000, 50,000, a million subscribers, whatever. That will in turn get you the looks in the eyes that you want to be in front of to get you the results without the work. The reality is that if I got a page solely dedicated to just blasting players, regardless of status, stars, abilities, things like that, how many people do you think are honestly looking at that page with validity and saying that, oh, this page is a credible source, they're a credible page, and that athlete is going to stand out to me? It's just like when I did a podcast talking about camps versus training. If you are on a page, a coach has no clue who you are, and you say, I want to go D1, well, if you are not at camps, you are not exposing yourself, putting out training videos, you are not in the lab training, you are not on this coach's radar by emailing or whatever source to get to that step, well, how do you expect to be, just by being solely put on the page, how do you expect to be seen in order to make your dream, being a scholarship athlete, a reality? That's just a question for you to think on. So how does this impact you as an athlete? As an athlete, it impacts you because there's so many more things you have to be out there and be on the lookout for. I know that with training, a lot of guys, I put out a lot of media. I know a lot of guys put out a lot of media these days because it's just necessary. But you also have guys that put out a lot of media, and it's basically like it's not great. It's not the content itself, but the programming isn't great. This person may be getting clientele because of their prowess as what they did when they were playing the sport, which is great. But as far as like just the nitty gritty, the X's and O's about does this training program work or does it not work, then 9 out of 10, a lot of those programs don't work. How's that impact you as an athlete? You have to be very watchful and when you're going through training, you have to constantly ask yourself the question: is this working for me? Is it not working for me? Am I getting better or am I getting worse as an athlete? Is my speed increasing? Is my vertical increasing? Mentally, do I feel stronger? Do I feel better? Physically, am I more mobile? Am I more flexible? Have my injuries been addressed? If that's something that they offer, every trainer doesn't offer that. If or have my injuries been addressed? Is the money that we're putting out worth what we're getting back in? Just a litany of questions that you should be asking yourself. And so, that is how that impacts you because the world of sports, you got to think about it, right? And when you go to high school, it starts over. So in high school, you got 4 years to prove yourself as an athlete worthy to go to college to gain a collegiate level scholarship. You get to college, you got roughly 4 years, 3 to 4 years to prove that you are worth going to the professional ranks, which is even smaller group of people that are able to do that. And so you have to take this stuff into account and take it serious. And so that's how it impacts you as an athlete. How do you know if you're being preyed upon? Think about, like, this is the thing that I would ask myself, and this is what I would look around to. First of all, you have to look at the resources that you have available, and then you have to look at what they're offering in comparison to what you will be getting in return. So is this person saying you are a ninth grader or you're an eighth grader and I can get you in front of collegiate coaches and get you a scholarship? Are you 11th or 12th grader and they're saying we can get you exposure to get in front of these schools, but then they don't have any connections themselves. They don't have any people that they can help you gain good feedback to let you know what you need to work on in your game. The thing that I look at today with a lot of these showcases and 7-on-7s and AAUs is just it's so accessible that it's hard to really gauge unless you're a player that does a lot of marketing on your own, have a lot of film out on your own, things like that. It's just hard to gauge what's true or what's solid versus what's pseudo. And so, people, coaches as well, we look at social media too. And so if I come to you and I say, hey, Tony Toe Touch, I can get you in front of these coaches and let's say we go to a 7-on-7 tournament, right? And at the 7-on-7 tournament, I'm not connected with any of these coaches. I'm not talking to any of these coaches. And then I'm not even nobody's even asking me about my players. That right there is a sign that a person is not as connected as they may have said. But that is also an opportunity to get you in front of eyes that you were not previously in front of. But then that also goes back to the playing time. If a coach can promise you playing time, and it's like you and another kid or what have you, and the team is not that great, that playing time doesn't really mean much. And then sometimes if I can promise you playing time off top, that's already like a red flag. So I would suggest that you go out and look at the team, watch them practice, or just go to a couple of practices, see what you feel about them, and then go from there. Because you hate to be in a situation where you're kind of stuck because you're there, but then you're not able to go anywhere because you committed to these people so prematurely. So then let's keep moving along because we don't want to get too long-winded. This video's gone longer than I expected already. I kind of went over what you should look for, and then I've given you these problems, so let me leave you with some solutions, right? how do you make the most of your career and your success? You take it seriously first of all, and then from there, you just beware of people who want you for your talent and not to help you get to the next level. One thing that I've prided myself on over the years is trying to help kids be in the best position that they can be. I say this very often is that, when it comes to scholarships and things like that, I do not make promises about scholarships. I like to position the kids well enough that they can go out and garner and gain that scholarship on their own. Talking about coaching vultures, if you are a kid and you only play 707 AAU travel and you don't play for the school, don't even start for the school, how do you think that looks to the outside world? Like, take away politics. How does that look to a recruiter? That we have to ask the school for your grades. We have to look at your school film as well as your other extracurriculars if you add those in there. But we have to look at school film, ask the school for grades, but you don't even contribute to the school. But you're saying that they're doing you wrong because of politics, or you're not playing for whatever reason because you may not be, in the right position or what have you. Like, if that's the case, you have to figure out a way to navigate that or make yourself undeniable so that you can be in a position to be seen. School ball still reigns supreme as far as that goes. I know some people are like, school ball means nothing, whatever. But if you want to go to the next level, you have to excel at school, at your high school level, or preparatory school level, athletics. But you make the most of your career by taking it serious. You make the most of your career by getting proper training time. A lot of times today with a lot of these AAU teams, travel teams, etc., the kids, you guys are playing so much, you're not able to travel. I mean, you're not able to train. So think about it like this, right? If I need to work on let's say I'm a baseball player, I need to work on an inside pitch. Well, if I'm spending every weekend of the summer playing 2 to 3 games a weekend, I'm only getting at most 369. I'm only getting 9 attempts at the plate. So I'm only seeing at best, I'ma just say we'll just go 5. We'll just go a 5 pitch count to make this simple math. That's 15 pitches a day. So if I play a 2 or 3 tournament, let's say I play a 2-day tournament, I'm only seeing 30 pitches when I could be training 30 pitch is. So I could be training and I could get the opportunity to see 100 plus, 200 plus, 300 plus pitches within that zone and get better. So that's what you got to look at as well. How much time commitment do I have to put to this? And then what am I getting in return? If your coaches are not coaching, you're just out there scrimmaging, out there just running around, lollygagging this and that, whatever. I'm not saying they're a vulture, but that's a waste of your time if you want to get to the next level. If you want to be D1, you want to be a collegiate level athlete. You can be D2, NAIA, it can be anything, D3, whatever. It can be all that. But if you want to get to that level, then you have to make sure you make the most of your athletic success and take your career seriously. And the third thing that I would say is beware of things that are too good to be true. Everything that glitter isn't gold, and sometimes, a lot of times, things that seem like they're too good to be true probably are. If you are on a team and y'all are going to these 50, 60 team tournaments or 40 team tournaments, 30 team tournaments, 20 things like that, and you got 30 coaches there, let's be realistic. How many recruiters, I'm sorry, are going to sit there and literally look at, let's say every team has 10 players. So it's 10 and 30. What is that, roughly like 300, I think? Yeah. 300 kids. Like, how many of those kids can you properly evaluate in a day's time, 2 days time, and get to where they need to go? Same thing with you guys going to camps or have been to camps and things like that. You just showing up to a camp, rolling out your bed, and we don't know who you are. Is there really a strong chance that you're going to get signed from that camp alone? A lot of times when you hear about kids getting signed from camps, their grades, 1, are on point. 2, they've already been talking to a coach, and they were probably at camp 2 hours before you got there. And the coach said, if you kill it today, we're going to get you signed. 3, and most importantly, they're on the map and they're known before they get there. Not saying they're on the national map, but they're on that coach's radar before they get there. So they're known. They've made themselves known. And so those are 3 things I would tell you to look out for to help your athletic success. but beware of those coaching vultures because they are out there, and it's more prevalent now because a lot of people are doing stuff just for a money grab, just to get a little extra in the bank, or just to get some feel some level of importance to their own personal life, by coaching kids or having a team, so to speak. Because you see a lot with even with parents, like one parent may get mad and say, well, instead of being on this team, I'm gonna create my own team, and then they're not as great and don't have as many connections because there's so many things that go into getting you to the next level outside of just purely playing the sport or purely being on the team. And so I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content, and share it, man. Please do. Please share it. And until next time, be legendary.